All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the future of web design.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, I think everyone's always wondering where things are headed, especially in such a fast-paced field like this. So,
Right, moves so quickly.
yeah, exactly.
Keeps you on your toes.
Oh, definitely keeps you on your
Ooh,
toes.
silly.
So we're basing this deep dive on a really interesting blog post called "The Future of Web Design: Trends to Watch."
Catchy.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be super relevant to just about anyone,
Yeah,
whether you're a business owner, a web designer, or just someone who's, curious about the digital world and where it's going.
I think the future of web design really impacts all of us in a way.
Totally. I mean, think about it. Like, we're all online constantly.
Yeah,
So the way websites are designed, how they look, how they feel, how they work, that really shapes our whole online experience.
absolutely. It's that user interface, that very first impression that we get.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think there's some really interesting things on the horizon.
Yeah, the blog post touched on some pretty mind-blowing stuff like AI design tools, dark mode, even sustainability.
Yeah, it's not just about aesthetics anymore.
No, it's so much bigger than that.
It really is about the whole experience,
Right, yeah.
functionality, accessibility, all of that. And I
Absolutely.
think what's really cool is that a lot of these trends are all kind of interconnected.
Oh,
So
yeah. Definitely, it's like they're all feeding into this bigger picture
exactly.
of like a more user-centered,
Right.
more accessible web.
Definitely. And a more responsible one, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Thinking about the environmental impact. And
Right, yeah. So much to unpack there.
absolutely.
So, okay, let's jump right in. I want to start with this whole AI thing.
Okay. Yeah.
AI-powered design tools. The blog post made it sound like almost science fiction.
It does sound very futuristic.
Right.
Yeah.
Like AI that can actually design websites.
You can, yeah.
So how does that actually work?
Well, the thing about AI is it's really good at analyzing huge amounts of data.
Okay.
So imagine AI looking at user behavior, what people click on, how they navigate, what they respond to,
Right.
and then using that information to make design decisions.
Oh, wow.
Like tailoring layouts for different demographics
That's incredible.
or predicting which design elements are going to be the most effective.
So it's almost like having a design assistant.
Yeah, like a superpowered design assistant.
Yeah, superpowered design assistant who can like predict the future.
Who can anticipate what people want before they even know it themselves.
That is wild. Okay, that's AI. So then there's this whole trend toward minimalism.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of clean, uncluttered designs.
Yeah, the blog post talked about lots of white space,
Yeah.
subtle animations, really focusing on the core functionality.
Right. It's about stripping away all the unnecessary stuff.
So is that tied into this idea of user-centered design?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Because when you have a minimalist design, it's all about removing distractions,
Right.
making the user's journey as smooth as possible.
So it's like you're not overwhelming them with...
Exactly. You're not overwhelming them with a bunch of clutter.
Yeah.
You have clear navigation, easy to read text.
Okay.
And the focus is really on the content, the information that the user actually came there for.
Right. Yeah. So it's just like straight to the point.
It's all about making the experience enjoyable, effortless.
So it's like less is more.
In a lot of ways, yes. Less is definitely more when it comes to good web design.
I like that. Okay. So moving on to something that I've personally been a big fan of for a while.
Okay.
Dark mode.
Ah, yes.
So many people I know, they swear by it.
It's very popular,
It's easier on the eyes, especially at night.
especially at night. Yeah, it reduces eye strain.
Right.
And it can actually save battery life, too,
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
especially on mobile devices.
Yeah. So, but is it more than just like a personal preference?
I think so.
Okay.
I think dark mode is really part of this bigger trend towards customization. Like, websites are giving users more and more control over their experience.
So it's not just like the designer decides how it looks.
Right. It's not just a one-size-fits-all approach anymore.
Okay.
You can choose dark mode, light mode, different color schemes, adjust font sizes.
Oh, wow.
It's all about making the web work for you, the individual user.
So it's like you're kind of creating your own little world online.
In a way, yes.
That's awesome. I like that.
It's all about personalizing that digital space.
Yeah. Okay. So then the blog post talked about these things called micro interactions and animations.
Yeah, these are the little details that can really make a website come alive.
Okay. And I got to be honest, like, I wasn't totally clear on what those were until I read the article.
Yeah, it's not a term that everyone's familiar with.
No. So can you Like, break it down for us.
Sure, so think about those subtle things that happen when you interact with a website,
Okay.
like a button that changes color when you hover over it,
Okay.
or a smooth scroll transition, even like a progress bar that animates during a file upload.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen those.
These are micro interactions.
Okay.
And they might seem small, but they actually make a big difference.
In what way?
Well, they make the website feel more responsive,
Okay.
like you're actually interacting with it, not just looking at a static page.
Right.
They add a layer of polish, a sense of sophistication.
So it's almost like they make it more, like, fun to use?
Yeah, exactly. They make it more engaging, more delightful.
I like that. Delightful.
It's all about creating a seamless and enjoyable experience.
Cool. Okay, now let's get a little bit more technical.
Okay, bring on the tech talk.
So the blog post mentioned VUI, voice user interface.
Yeah, this is a big one.
And I know voice search is, like, exploding in popularity these days.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's talking to their devices now.
Right, like, hey, Siri, or, okay, Google.
And exactly.
So how does web design need to adapt to that?
Well, it means we need to start thinking beyond the keyboard and the mouse. Websites need to be optimized for voice commands.
So, like, people should be able to, like, navigate a website just by talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to search for products, make purchases, all with just your voice.
That's so cool.
It's super convenient,
Yeah.
and it's also really important for accessibility.
Oh, right, for people who might not be able to use a mouse or a keyboard.
Exactly. So it's making the web more inclusive for everyone.
That's awesome. So it's almost like websites are having to, like, learn a whole new language.
Yeah, it's like they're learning to speak.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
We're moving beyond just visual design
Right.
and thinking about how websites sound, how they respond to spoken words.
So there's like a whole new dimension of web design.
Absolutely. A whole new frontier.
Okay, this is where things get really futuristic.
Okay, hit me with it.
The blog post talked about augmented reality and virtual reality in web design.
AR and VR, yeah, these are definitely the cutting edge.
It gave examples like virtual try-ons for clothes.
Yeah, like you can see how a dress would look on you without actually having to go to a store.
Right, or VR tours of, like, real estate properties.
Yeah, so you can walk through a house virtually before you even go see it in person.
So do you think these technologies are, like, actually going to take off in web design?
I think they have incredible potential
Okay.
because they really blur the lines between the digital world and the physical world.
Right.
They can create these immersive experiences
Right.
that are way more engaging, way more informative.
So it's like you're not just looking at a website, you're, like, stepping into it.
Exactly, you're experiencing it.
Wow. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It's like science fiction becoming reality.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, let's bring things back down to earth for a minute.
Okay.
The blog post stressed the importance of mobile-first design.
Right, this is crucial.
And I feel like most people are already accessing the internet more on their phones than desktops, right?
Oh, absolutely. Mobile usage has surpassed desktop usage.
So why is this still such a big deal?
Because it's not just about making sure a website looks okay on a phone.
Oh.
It's about prioritizing the mobile experience from the very beginning.
Oh.
Thinking about how people use their phones, the limitations of smaller screens,
Right.
and designing accordingly.
So it's like you're not just, like, shrinking down the desktop version.
No, you're designing specifically for mobile.
Okay.
Because the way people interact with the website on their phone is completely different.
Right. Yeah, you're scrolling, you're
What you're
tapping.
using your thumbs, you're on the go.
Right, totally different context.
And this is where responsive design comes in.
Okay.
A website needs to be able to adapt seamlessly to any screen size.
Okay.
Phones, tablets, desktops, whatever.
So it's always, like, a good experience.
Always a consistent and positive user experience.
Makes sense. Okay, what about data-driven and personalized web experiences?
This is another area where AI is really starting to have an impact.
Okay, because I know, like, companies collect tons of data about users.
Oh, yeah. Mountains of data.
So how is that actually being used in web design?
Well, it's about leveraging that data to create more tailored experiences.
Okay.
Imagine a website that remembers your preferences
Okay.
and serves up content that's specifically interesting to you.
So, like, personalized recommendations.
Exactly. Personalized product recommendations, targeted offers,
Oh, wow.
even like custom designed layouts based on your past behavior.
So it's like the website gets to know you,
Yeah, in a sense.
and then it's like, oh, hey, I know what you like.
Here's what you might be interested in.
That's pretty cool.
It's about anticipating user needs, creating a more satisfying experience.
So it's like The opposite of a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. It's the antidote to that.
I like okay, the blog post also mentioned something that I think is super important.
Okay, what's that?
Sustainable web design.
Ah, yes, this is becoming increasingly critical.
I'll be honest, like, I never really thought about websites having an environmental impact.
Yeah, it's not something that's immediately obvious.
Yeah. No, but every website has a carbon footprint.
It does, yeah.
From the energy used to host it to the resources needed to transmit data.
All of that contributes.
So what can web designers actually do to make websites more eco-friendly?
There are a lot of practical things they can do,
Okay.
like using lightweight coding practices.
Okay.
So the code is more efficient, takes up less space.
Right.
Optimizing images to reduce file sizes so
Okay.
they load faster and use less bandwidth.
Makes sense.
And choosing energy-efficient hosting providers.
Oh, okay. So, like, the actual servers are using less energy.
Exactly. It's all about being mindful of the resources we're using.
I had no idea web design could play a role in sustainability.
It definitely can.
That's awesome. Okay. Last but not least,
Okay.
cybersecurity and privacy-first design.
Oh, this is absolutely paramount in today's world.
Right. With all the data breaches and, privacy concerns.
People are more aware than ever of how their data is being used.
Yes. So this seems like this should be a top priority for any website.
It absolutely should be.
So what does that actually look like in web design?
Well, it means implementing strong authentication methods.
Okay.
So people's accounts are secure,
Right.
encrypting sensitive information,
Okay.
and being transparent about data collection practices.
So it's like you're not trying to hide anything.
Exactly. You're being upfront with users
Okay.
about what data you're collecting and why.
So it's about building trust.
Exactly. It's all about building trust with your users.
Because if people don't trust a website, they're not going to use it.
Exactly. Trust is essential.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground today.
We have. It's been quite a journey.
From AI to VR to sustainability.
It's fascinating to see how all these trends are shaping the future of web design.
And it's clear that the web is evolving at, like, an insane pace.
It's incredibly fast-paced.
And the future looks, honestly, it looks pretty amazing.
It does. There's so much potential.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question.
Okay, I like questions.
What kind of web experience do you envision for the future?
Ooh, good one.
And what role will you play in shaping it?
I love that because we all have a role to play.
Yeah, we do, whether we're designers, business owners, or just, everyday users.
Absolutely.
So think about that. And thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future of web design.
Always a pleasure.
And we'll catch you in the next episode.
See you then.